Have you heard anybody with a 100% visa success rate? Well, it's too good to be true, right? I have helped hundreds of students to get the US student visa with a 100% success rate. And in this video, I'll walk you through the entire process and what are the important things that you need to consider while applying for the F1 visa. So let's get started. I'm Faisal. I'm the founder and CEO of Scholarden. I have been mentoring students for the last 9 years, especially for the US students, and I have interacted with over 50,000 students so far. And prior to working on my startup in the last 9 years, I was working with multinational firms like DuPont, Shell, and also with other United Nations. And I was working in the field of HR, and I have interacted with thousands of people during the hiring process, and I have interviewed them. So being an expert of interviews, I understand how the interview process works, and that actually helped me to interview students and guide them properly to how to get a US student visa. So if there is a 100% approval rate, so that means it's not by coincidence, right? I'm doing something systematically correct that is helping students to get the visa success as well, right? And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the process where you can understand what are the key important areas we need to focus on and how to get your visa approval based on certain strategies that you need to work on. So let's just start. There's a huge misconception about the US student visa, which is that because you're from a certain background, you're not able to get the US visa. Well, the answer is yes and no. Yes, they are strict about certain countries because of their backgrounds and because of the fraud that they do. But in other countries, they're a bit relaxed. And the only reason is that because in those countries where the people have a bad image or a bad impression, and they are more stricter in shortlisting or selecting the right students from those countries. So for example, countries like Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nigeria, and other developing countries, the success rate of students applying for a F1 visa is low because there's a lot of students who actually don't really genuinely want to come to the US on education. They actually want to come here in the US for just as a route to immigrant. And it is important to know that the US visa is a non-immigrant visa. That means your intent should not be that you want to immigrate to the US. And this is why they genuinely need to look at students who is going to come for the interview. Either they're coming here as a genuine students or they're coming here as a means to get immigration in the US. Why I'm saying that? Because a lot of people who actually come to the US through agent or consultants, they actually don't really intend to study. They actually want to work for gas stations, for other odd jobs, earn money in cash, and then they apply for asylum or they apply for other visa types so that they can stay in the US. And this is the reason why the US government is very strict in stopping those students who are not genuine and they just want to come here on a student visa route. So let's now talk about what are the important things that a visa officer look into a students while applying for a visa. So there are two important things that they look into, and the third part actually is a mix of both of them. So let me share you the difference between the two. The first thing that they look at is how genuine a student is. So is the student really looking for a US education? Genuinely he wants to get a better education, and is that student is a genuine student in terms of his track record, his GPA, his test scores, his TOEFL, and all other things, and which universities he's applying, and there's a lot of other things that he look into that. The second thing which he looks into is that the financial aspect of it. If a student who is coming here, can he show his financial proof, or can he has a financial backing, and are those financials genuine enough that he can sustain the US education and sustain the US cost of living as well. So these are the two important things that actually they look into it, and they also look into that from the aspect of how strong the home ties are. So in other ways, they look into that either this student has a good career ties, he's a good career progressions that he wants to pursue. Like for example, if a student wants to study X or Y, so they want to look into that, how demanding that field is in that specific country where he's from, right? So after coming back from the US, would he be able to get a good career or not? That's one thing. Second thing is his family ties, so how strong his family ties are, like what about their parents, their siblings, what are they doing, and would he be coming back in the home country or not. So the third thing is the financial ties, does he has the financial means to go to the US and come back. So home ties is a mix of both how genuine a student is and the financial part of it. So that's whenever you heard about this thing that home ties. So you should think about, okay, it's basically talking about how genuine a student is. Is he genuinely really need to go to the US for education purpose and then return back to your home country? And the second is, does he has the financial means to go to the US and then return back? So let's talk about more in detail about who genuine student is. So a genuine student is somebody who is genuinely a student. For example, if somebody who has done an undergrad or a bachelor degree from your home country and he wants to go to the US for a master's or for the PhD, and looking at his credential, he has good grades, he has, even if a grade is 3, even if his grade is 2.5, but he has already taken some research work, he has already taken an exam like GRE, IELTS. So these kind of things actually really help them to make them a genuine student. And also a university name is very important. Like, which university is applying to, is it a good university, is it a bad university, and stuff like that. The whole thing, the package that a student comes with, like, his grades, his career progression, his field, his university name, and also the interview part, which we'll talk about that later on. The second aspect is your financial part. So for example, if you're going to the US and you're going for a master's program and your tuition fees is $40,000, $40,000 in cash. If somebody says I have a $40,000 in cash, it's a lot of money depending on which countries you belong to. It's a lot of money in terms of those people who are from developing countries. So in that case, justifying $40,000 in cash is unrealistic. So the visa officer gets this as a red flag and thinks that he's not genuinely arranging the funds and he's just getting funds from somebody on temporary basis, and he's eventually not going to get these funds in the US. And most probably, if he does not get the funds in the US for his education, so he is going to do the odd jobs over there. So eventually that becomes a very genuine case for a rejection. Similarly, you need to look at how you're arranging your funds. So are you arranging these funds through proper genuine reasons? Like, for example, your father is going to sponsor you and your father has a good business, or he's a lot of properties, he has sold one of his property and he has given that money to you, and you have all the track record of all the documentation and everything that makes you study for it. The other aspect is that a lot of students actually get this scholarship as well. So automatically the financial part becomes ineffective. Like, you can easily go to the US when it's a fully funded scholarship, so you don't need any financial document or bank statement for that. So in those cases, the visa officer only look at the academic part, which is how genuine you are a student, not the financial part. Even I've seen cases where students have taken loans or they have taken financial help from their uncle, aunt, or other people apart from their family. This is perfectly fine, as far as you can genuinely explain the reason and genuinely showcase how the whole financial thing works. It's perfectly fine. The visa officer will not deny your visa. So the last piece is your interview prep. So based on my experience with hundreds of cases, I have helped them with a US visa interview, and I have a 100% success rate with genuine students. And the reason why I have a 100% rate, because I'm working on certain systems and process that actually works. So the way the system works is that I actually have a preparation plan. I first discuss the whole visa scenario or the background of a student, academic part, discuss the financial part, and then come up with a plan. So once we have a strategy or a plan to go for the interview, then we start working on the interview questions. And the way it works is that we jot down all the questions that a visa interview might ask, and based on our experience, we have a experience with hundreds of students so far. So we know exactly what sort of questions they ask. And then on the basis of that, we then prepare students on those questions. For example, we take 2 mock interviews. So I first onboard them on how to prepare for the questions, and then later on I also conduct their live video mock interviews where I can help them to prepare them for the visa interview. So based on these strategies, I have come up with a 100% success rate. So that means that my interview plan, my strategy, my mock, they are extremely effective, and that actually helps students to get the visa acceptance as well. So if you're looking for our mock interview preparation services, or you want to discuss your case with us, do let us know in the comments below, and we can help you to prepare well for the US student visa. In the future video, what we're going to do is that we're going to break down individual questions, and we're going to talk about other things that is important in the interview, like your dress code, or what type of question do they ask and how to answer those questions. And if you have any question, do let us know in the comments below so that we can help you prepare well for the US student visa. So I hope you like this video, and for more videos, stay tuned and do like the video and subscribe to all the future videos that you'll come across. So thank you and have a good day.